What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what's coming to the Tacoma. So if you guys are interested, let's go ahead and now get into it. All right, you guys, so before we do like a quick little walk around explaining what we're going to be doing next, you are probably going to notice that the camper shell is gone. I'll explain why in a bit, but I did want to let you guys know, as far as right now, I do really love how the truck sits, and in all honesty, I would keep it this way, but I do want to try some things out for 2024. That's the only reason why I'm changing some things out that we're going to explain in this video. But if it wasn't for that, honestly, I think this is probably the best stage. I know if you guys have been following me for a while now, you guys have probably seen multiple stages of this truck. All right, you guys, another thing that I did want to tell you guys, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram yet, I'd highly suggest doing it. Only reason I say that is because every month until the end of the year, I'm going to do my best to do giveaways. Another quick recap that I did want to explain as well. If you guys haven't been following the recent videos, we just recently, of course, put these brand new tires. I've already previously had 35s, but these are new 35s. If you guys didn't watch that video when I installed them, those are the brand new Toyo RT 35 by 12.5 by 17 tires. Those wheels are super similar to my shiny machined color ones that I used to have, which are the KMC Riot True Bead Locks. They're basically the same thing, but these ones are in black versus the other ones, they were just all silver machine. I don't know if you guys watched that video yet, but that's new as well. Another new recent mod that we had just previously done is going to be that Prinsu rack. I know it looks very, very similar, but it's not. That's actually the brand new Prinsu Pro rack that they just came out with. So if you guys do want to purchase that or check out that video, I'll make sure to link it in the description box below. That thing is awesome. If you guys haven't seen one in person, go find a buddy, go find somebody, even ask me if you're around me to check that thing out. It's a lot better than the previous one, I can tell you that right now. And everybody that have seen it in person has told me the same thing. So I'm not just saying it. I am kind of on the fence about it because I do really like this stage of this truck. It's super light, it's super functional, it has the flex. It can do basically anything I want it to do besides camping. And we all know summer is around the corner, and I do want to kind of camp again. Not only locally, but I also want to travel like I used to. And this time I'm going to try to document it for you guys, because that's one thing you guys probably don't know. I used to travel a lot. I just wouldn't record it because I was too shy to do it. Nowadays, I'm going to try my best to just record everything I do, including the camping sessions with friends and stuff like that, just so you guys can see what I actually do, because there's a lot of stuff that you guys don't know that I do because I don't post it. Another thing that you guys are gonna notice on the truck, if you guys see back here, there is two things sticking out right there, and there's a reason. So if you guys do remember, I did previously have swing outs. It's still the same CBI off-road bumper. What I ended up doing is removing them, just so that way the truck's a little bit lighter. Another thing that you can't see until I open this up, you're gonna notice my deck system is now gone. So I actually did sell this, and there's a reason to it. So that's why it's empty. And then another thing that you're probably going to notice that's pretty major is, yes, I did also sell my camper shell. And there's a reason to that. So that company, which is Beyond 4x4, they actually came out with a brand new camper setup. So it's going to be same thing. It's going to be kind of like a tactical camper in a way, but it's also going to be with a tent on top. So cool thing with that, which of course, once I get it installed, which is going to be next month in March, we're going to show you guys a full walk around video. We're going to film a how to install video as well, but I'm just going to briefly explain it here. So basically it's going to go right around here, and what I could do with it, it's similar to other camper setups out there, I'm not going to lie to you, but this one has a couple extras, which once I get it on, I'll explain to you guys, so make sure to stay tuned for that video. But basically, it's going to be one of those camper shells where you go inside the bed here, and then you could climb into the tent from inside. And like I said, yes, it's similar to the ones that are out right now, but what Beyond 4x4 did was add a couple extras to it just to make it different. And for someone like you guys that don't use your tent all the time, but you guys would like that style tent, you're gonna love this camper shell, trust me. It's a 2-in-1. You could go ahead and do your research on that, but that's where I'm gonna leave it. And it does have a lot of extras, which you guys will see in that upcoming video. And with that being said, that's gonna be about 300 pounds. So the reason I sold my deck system and the reason I took off my swing outs was honestly just to kind of compensate for the new weight that's going to get thrown on. Adding that camper shell, it's going to feel about the same where my truck was sitting anyway, so it's not going to be a drastic difference for me. That's why I sold those stuff off. So I'm super excited for that. So yes, that's going to be one of the biggest mods coming, because once we get that camper shell, my plan for it, and don't quote me on this because I don't know if it's going to happen or not, depends how much everything comes out. But what I'm going to be doing once that setup is done is I'm actually going to be building out the bed. That's another reason why I got rid of the deck system, so I have more space here. My plan is to also build out a bed on this side, so that way if I ever do bring my family or my niece that usually films the videos, she can sleep there if she wants to come with us. And we're also going to be building like a small kitchen. I don't think I'm going to put a burner on it. And the only reason I'm not going to put a full-on kitchen inside is because I just recently got the Tembo scottles, and those things are amazing. So I'm probably going to be using that to cook my food on, just because it's easy to clean up and it's super easy. It's modular. And if I really wanted to, I mean, I can set it up inside the bed if it's super cold outside, and I'll just cook inside. Who cares? I'll open up a window and be good. We're going to make it look super fancy. One thing I do want to add is going to be a sink, and what we're going to be using for that sink is it's going to look like an actual sink, but as far as the spout, what I plan to do is at home I do have a Dometic 5-liter jug, I believe it is, and it has power on and off. So my plan as far as the spout for that sink, we're going to be using the Dometic, and then underneath the sink I'll go ahead and put the big jug, and that's where the water will be, so we can wash our hands. And I'll add in like a soap dispenser. I just have a lot of ideas for it, but I'm super excited for it. And depending if I do start running a second battery, I have everything at home to do it. I just have to set it up and actually put it in the truck, which I'm lazy when it comes to wiring. I don't like it. If I get someone to help me out, I'm gonna run a second battery. And with that being said, my plan, I'm gonna put a little oven in here, and I'm also gonna put a little microwave in here. So that way when we're camping, we can literally have full-on meals. Like whether you want to microwave something, whether you want to cook something in the oven, or like I said, I have that scotto, we could just cook outside. So I do want to be able to like live in it for a couple days if needed. That being said, I also have a kick-ass shower tent. If you guys remember in the past when I had my whole overland setup, I still have that setup. So my plan is probably to set up the tent on this side for the shower. And then I also have the kick-ass water heater. So plan, same thing. I'm going to probably set it up, since that new camper shell I'm getting, it's going to open up from the side. I'll probably set up the hot water system on one side where the tent is going to be for the shower. So that way, whenever I do shower, I have also hot water. So literally you can live out of this thing if you wanted to. Those are just plans. If it does happen, I'll go ahead and record everything and kind of show you guys. I do want to make it look fancy. I've seen other truck setups do this and it doesn't look quite nice. It looks like they just kind of throw it together. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but one of my good friends named Francis, his truck setup is super gorgeous. Like anytime we go to meets or anything like that and he has that thing open, everybody compliments his truck. Why? Because it looks super fancy. I'll just spoil a little bit. I'm gonna add flooring in here. Of course, like I said, just also depends on money, because I've heard that setup can cost maybe anywhere between $1,000 to $4,000. So it just depends. Most of it I'm gonna try to do myself, so that way the cost can stay a little bit low. But if we do it, I'll document everything. Another thing that I do need to do to this truck, and we'll come right over here to the side, do have 35s, but one thing you are gonna notice, look at this freaking gap. I mean, it's insane. So one thing that I do have in mind, I don't know yet, and only reason why, because I'm gonna fill it out. I'm gonna see how it feels once I install that, once I build out the kitchen and all that stuff. I'm gonna see as far as the weight. If the truck still drives pretty similar to what it drives right now, because it drives freaking awesome. I'm re-geared on 529 Revolution gears. Shout out to Jason, CB Built. He's the one that put them in for me. With that being said, if the truck still drives how it feels right now, I'll be comfortable enough to actually slap 37s on here. So I know I have the wheel gap for it, so I know we can clear it. Only thing, I mean, yeah, maybe if I do see that it's rubbing a little, what I'm gonna do is what most people do that run 37s on a Tacoma is cut this whole plastic thing out, which, I mean, this whole truck is cut up anyway, so it's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and trim all the black off right here, and then we'll probably trim the bumper back a little bit and slap a plate on there just so it stays pretty strong. The only other problem with that, because I don't mind spending the money on the tires, the only problem with that is if you come over here. So the only downside for me slapping 37s, why it's stopping me, because trust me, I would have had them already. I mean, I don't mind cutting this truck up any more than it is. The only problem is I have to get someone to actually tub this thing. Since I don't have the RCLT long travel kit, I can't like just slap the tires on and call it a day, because what that RCLT kit allows you to do is it pushes the tires forward, so you can slap 37s, 38s, probably even 39s all day, if you guys do know about that long travel kit. I, of course, have the Total Chaos 2 Plus kit, so it's a little bit different. I'll probably hit up my good friend Jerry, better known as Beast Fab. He's gonna have to tub my truck. You'd have to cut all that out and slide a plate in there, and basically then we'll clear the 37s after we've probably cut this whole thing out as well, which, like I said, the fender, I don't care. I'll chop it up all day long. And then if I want to clear it completely, I'd also have to cut the top up here, but it clears on the up travel. I don't mind that. It's just finding the time for me and Jerry to get together has been pretty hard, because he's been busy, I've been busy, so it's going to be hard for us to kind of get that thing going. That's what's stopping me on the 37s. Another thing, if you guys have previously watched the video where I broke the Tacoma, where I broke the tie rods, and it sucked really bad. You never want to be in that situation. If I was you guys, carry extra tie rods, carry tools when you guys are out on the trails, especially if you guys are rock crawling, because it sucked, I'm not going to lie. But with that being said, if I do slap 37s on, I'm actually going to have to also upgrade my steering rack and the tie rod ends. So that's probably another, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 grand on top. Of course, you guys do know I recently changed out all my lighting to KC lights. So for example, we do have the KC Flex Era 3 fog lights here. So these things are amazing. I love them. And if I ever do want to change them to clear, I can, because that's just a lens. You pop it open, turns clear. And then of course, up top right there, we do have the KC Flex Era 4s. Those things are insane. If you have the money to buy them, I'd highly recommend them. They're insane. They're super bright, and you're gonna love them. Especially as ditch lights, you'll blind some people. I can guarantee you that. I also want to get a KC light bar up there, but it's not a regular KC light bar that you guys see. You know, most of the people get like the Pro 6s, and there's like, I think it's 5 or 6 lights up there. I don't want to do that. So if you guys do know, on the Prince2 rack, there's a light bar cutout. So KC just recently released a light bar that's a bunch of little pods. That's what I plan on doing up there, because it is, I believe, a 40-inch bar. Another thing that I have planned, and I'm only gonna do it to test it out. I don't know how long I'm gonna leave it on, but as you guys do know, I did get this custom-made grill. If you guys do want that grill, I'll link his Instagram right here. You guys can hit him up, let him know I sent you over so he can hook you guys up. But basically, this is an RGB custom TRD Pro grill. This thing lights up. You could change colors. I always leave it on blue because that's my favorite color. It adds that custom flavor. You can put whatever you want on it. For me, it says JR Taco. In case you guys don't know what JR Taco stands for, it actually stands for JesseRizo Tacoma. A lot of people think that I own like a taco shop or something, or they think that stands for just Junior. No, it's actually JesseRizo Tacoma. So that's a little insight for you guys if you guys were curious. What I may upgrade up here is actually going to be this grill. So as you guys do know, the brand new TRD version 2 Pro grill came out, and I'm gonna have the same company make me one with the JR Taco. So it might change the look of the truck. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it on for too long, but I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna slap it on, see how that brand new version looks. And if I like it, I'll keep it on there. If not, I'll go back to my grill that I do like. I know for a fact we are going to be changing out this winch. This is the Rough Country 9500 winch. I had to use it in the past, and it's never failed me. Don't get me wrong, it's never failed me, but I could feel that 9500 is a little too on the lower side for the truck weight. So I ended up actually getting an Ironman 4x4 synthetic 12K winch, which is going to pull this truck no problem. And the cool thing with that Ironman one, it's actually wireless. This one, it's wired. So if I ever have to use it, I have to go into the engine bay, connect it, and I have to kind of stay close. Whereas the new one that I got, that I have to install, I just been lazy, that one's actually wireless. So I can stand away and just boop, 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 and have some fun. So yeah. And then the last thing that I'm thinking about doing, which I already have it at home, but same thing, I've been lazy to do it because it requires a lot of wiring. If you guys do remember, I did install a Stinger head unit onto the Tacoma, and it paired up well with my OEM sound system. That was freaking awesome. But I also have a Stinger rear view mirror, which the features on that thing is insane. If you guys look it up, they're kind of pricey, but if you have the money to do it, I'd highly suggest getting it. That thing's cool. And I can't wait to install it. That rear view mirror also adds an additional 4 cameras. So I'm gonna have a camera up front, which I already do, but we're gonna replace it. It's gonna be a camera up front, It's going to be a camera in the rear. And then now I'm going to have cameras on each side of the truck as well. So when I'm off-road, I can go ahead and select everything and be looking all around and making sure I don't fall in a big hole and roll over or something. So it's going to be awesome. Just like I said, it requires a lot of wiring. It requires a lot of patience. So I'm going to see same thing if my good friend Jerry, Beast Fab, can help me out with that. That way I can film while he does the install. That's honestly the only reason kind of why we work together, because as a team, it helps out. I can focus on my filming, he can focus on the install. Whereas if it's just me installing it at home, it's kind of hard for me to get angles while I'm trying to do this, and then I got to worry about someone filming for me. It's just a whole mess where if I hit him up, it's just easier. I film for you guys, so I want to make it as easy as possible, easy for you guys to kind of understand. Where sometimes on some installs, if I'm recording and trying to do the install, it's going to be a pain in the butt and it's going to take me all day, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get the videos out for you guys. So just wanted to explain myself on that one. When it comes to installs like that, I'd rather have someone help me out so I can focus. Heck yeah. The last thing that I'm probably going to change out, and like I said, all this stuff can change in a matter of months. I mean, I may not do some stuff, I may do some different stuff. This is just kind of some ideas that I have for the Tacoma. But basically, if you guys do remember, I recently installed the carburetor seats up front. Those things are amazing. They look great. I always get compliments on them. But now the rear seats, I have the rough country seat covers. So it doesn't really match because the fronts are leather, the rear is just cloth. So what I'm going to be doing for the rear, of course, Corbro doesn't make rear seats, but what I'm going to do is, I know there is leather covers out there. So that's something that I'm probably going to do. I'm going to order some. So that way the front and the rear is all leather. Everything's just kind of matching and it looks super clean. As far as right now, that's the only stuff I have in mind. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, I know a bunch of you guys have asked me on Instagram, am I going to get the 2024 Toyota Tacoma? In all honesty, probably not right now. Two reasons why. One, this thing has too much money invested into it for me to just sell it or give it away. I'm not going to get the money back. And then two, it's never good to get any vehicle, not only the Tacoma, it's never good to get the first generation that just came out. For example, back then with the 2016 Tacomas, when they came out, they had a bunch of problems. They also had paint problems. So it's never good to get that first gen. So who knows, maybe in about 2-3 years, but I don't think I'll get rid of this thing. This is kind of what helped me start what I do here for you guys. So it would be kind of hard for me to let this thing go. I wanted to touch on that really quick. And if you guys did enjoy today's quick little video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm just kidding.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.